Hi, I'm Jamie. This is Dead Dodge Garage, and this is my 1968 Dodge Charger 383 car. And it's broken, slightly. Also, it's kind of buried, but that's this whole other thing. A quick story. I finally got this car licensed in the state in which I reside, and everything was great. It's finally legal. So I was driving it all the time when the weather was nice. I love this car. It's awesome. One day, I was out cruising downtown, and I was pulling up to a stoplight. On my right side, there was one of those new darts. I think it was one of the sporty models. Anyway, it kind of looked like he wanted to party. And I'm in my big block Charger, of course. And I like to party. So, I power braked it at the stoplight. I'm holding the gas, holding the brake. The light goes green. I let go of the brake. I floor the gas. The car does a giant two-wheel screechy burnout, which it always has with the 323 gears even. Very impressive. And it kind of skids sideways and kicks down the block. The dart next to me, never even moved. So I guess he didn't want to party. Anyway, I turned a corner a couple blocks down. I pulled into my bank and I realized, hey, this thing's running like garbage. And it doesn't idle anymore. What did I do? I don't know. That's what I'd like to figure out today. I have a couple guesses, but yeah. After that, I think it's time for another bath. My shop here is the absolute worst. The dust problem is just terrible. So yeah, we'll wash the car again. We'll knock the chunks of rust off of it too. Having the crappy 69 above it, probably not a good idea. So let's get into it. Let's see what I broke. Oh, don't mind the shiny polished slot mag sitting next to the car. That's for this whole other thing. Yeah. Rust chunks. This poor car. I'll go ahead and record a cold start, and you can hear how terribly it's running, and maybe glean some sort of insight into what's going on. This incident did occur like 6 weeks ago, and it hasn't run since, so it's definitely going to take some cranking to get fuel to the carb, but I'm sure it'll start as it always has after that. At idle, and it shakes more than it used to. Now I'm on hot idle, and it's staying running currently. Previously it would not do that. It just doesn't sound as happy as it used to. There's a bit of a stumble off idle. It doesn't seem as bad as I remember it, but I can tell it's just not quite right. I don't hear any horrible mechanical noises. Well, except from the alternator, but that's been a consistent feature. I still need to replace that. That's actually the original alternator off of my Demon. It was the only good one I had at the time. My first thought was vacuum leak. You know, cap blown off or line blown off of something. Oh, that doesn't seal very well. Huh, pay attention to that. That might be important later. You know, it just sounds lazy. This thing was never like that before. It's almost like it's doing the classic Edelbrock one clogged idle circuit idles on 4 cylinders thing. No obvious dead cylinders here. Passenger side looks normal too. Oh, apparently my new valve cover gaskets are seeping. Not that that's surprising in any way, but I should probably deal with that. I'll just go around and snug up the valve cover bolts. That's like a normal service operation on a big block. Aw, come on. I can't fully close it off with my hand, but anyway, Before I do anything drastic, I'm going to pull the idle screws on the Edelbrock and blow through those passageways with air. Often, when that's the issue, blowing those out just magically fixes it. And then it idles on 8 cylinders again, and everyone's happy. See, it's not that they're loose, it's just they need to be snugged a little bit. I always use the cork gaskets. I've had the best luck with those, but this operation is required periodically. Eventually, they just sort of settle in and everything's fine. You don't have to do this anymore. God, this one is just the worst with power brakes. Wow. This isn't the issue, but I mean, it could be an issue eventually. These intake bolts were not at all tight when I got to them. God, whoever installed this intake should be ashamed of themselves. Me. It was me. All me. Oh, in case you missed it, last year sometime, I actually did a full restoration of this engine compartment. I just kind of cleaned it up, removed most of the stuff that didn't belong, painted the engine back to the correct turquoise, where it was previously orange, and terrible and 90s-tastic. I removed an MSD ignition system from this thing because, well, that's who I am as a person. I think the comment I got more than anything else on that video was that I had left the throttle spring orange. It's supposed to be green and orange. It's just, this one's a little bit more orange than green. I could fix that with some patience, which I don't have. I really need to get a new radiator for this thing. For multiple reasons, actually. For science, I decided to start it up after tightening the bolts down. I don't think it changed anything. It's still all lazy and horrible. Okay, I can tell you for sure this thing's not contributing as much fuel as it's supposed to. Screwing it way out helped. I'm gonna do what I said, blow out these passageways and go from there. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. It's all fine, I think. Well, that did nothing. So now I've got the vacuum gauge and I'm not liking the looks of that. Oh. Huh. Okay. Here's where we're at. I gave the timing a little bump, which brought it up but didn't do a whole lot. Then I did the rag trick, or in this case, the choke trick. I revved it up and shut the choke momentarily. Did that several times and what do you know, it started idling smoothly again. I think the timing issue is down to points wear. I may have taken a big chunk out of the rubbing block when that happened and I now don't have enough dwell. Of course, I don't have a working dwell meter here, so it's kind of hard to verify that. The little timing bump got us to about 16 inches of mercury and it's pretty steady, but it still wanders up and down a bit. This engine has always done that, so I'm not really super worried. It sounds kind of like its happy old self to me. I was also able to lower the idle speed, like lower than I ever had it before, so. I need to verify this setting with a timing light and see what we got. Just big block Mopar stuff. Valve cover gaskets. They pretty much don't. I ran a mirror stab and vacuum gauge reading, put it at 25 degrees, which is just not gonna fly with a stock timing curve. This isn't exactly a race car, so I'm not planning to do anything there. This is it at 10. The spec is actually 7.5. Anyway. It's just kind of lazy sounding. But we are still pulling 15.5 inches of mercury vacuum. So I guess it could be worse. You can hear it laboring. It's just like weird. 24 degree curve, 10 degrees base, 34 total. Yeah, that's pretty good. It sounds just as good as it ever did, or even a little better. So I guess that's cool, but I'm still kind of confused by all this. I also added a pint of transmission fluid, which I guess it needed. It actually like positively goes into gear now, so that's something. It only just occurred to me I should probably check the points cap while I'm here. So I did. I closed it by a lot. I think it was way too far open, meaning there was too much dwell, meaning at higher RPM it was not happy. Which would make sense because at higher RPM it didn't really seem happy. These are actually somewhat decent quality points. They even have the little pad thingy on there. The rubbing block looks to be in fine shape, so. The one thing that's weird is that is not centered in that adjustment slot. Usually it kind of sort of is. Almost seems like it's laboring more at idle now, but it's not dropping out cylinders at higher RPM anymore. So that's an improvement. I did, of course, have to reset the timing after changing the points gap. It retarded at like 6 or 7 degrees. It's kind of a lot. Anyway, I might open it up just a hair past where it is now, but it's definitely closer to correct. I know it's funny that I don't have a working dwell meter. I have like 4 or 5 of them. None of them work right. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, oil, what a good idea. That's not to suggest anything this aftermarket dipstick says is believable. No offense to the good people of Taiwan, but I really need to find an original one. New radiator, what a good idea. Like it never happened, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Note the fuel gauge is pessimistic. There's still like half a tank in this thing. Seems pretty good. I've driven it around town a good bit, but I never have hit the highway since I installed these Kragers and ancient Mickey Thompson tires, which is probably for the best. Yep, it's a stock 383. Seriously, dude? It's right back to its happy self. Runs smooth-ish. Does little burnouts on command. It's great. Parked for a month and a half, or maybe even more. All for some little tuning tweaks. That's it? Oh, I think I need to fix this mount. Yeah, the other one's a little less wobbly. Oh. Well, okay. I don't know how it was running as bad as it was when all it needed was like a slight points adjustment, a bit of cleaning out of the carburetor, and like a tiny timing tweak. I have no idea, but here we are. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but I really love the 383. Even though this is a stock low compression 2-barrel engine, it's just great. It does everything you need it to. Quite some time ago, I made a video about potentially putting a 426 Hemi in this. Let's just say I'm glad I didn't. Pretty out today, except for the clouds and all of the garbage. I'm pretty sure the transmission's been low the whole time I've owned this car. And I'm also pretty sure I've never checked it before. I just love the way this thing drives. Now that it's summer and it's not broken anymore, I can enjoy that again. I forgot my turn signal switch is broken now. I gotta fix that. Also, a not cracked wood grain wheel would be great. It's on the list, but it's a long list. Oh, that's nice. Tough Stuff interior cleaners actually lifting this horrible grime out of the vinyl top. It's gonna take some scrubbing and a couple rinses, but it's gonna be so much better. It was looking horrible and streaky up here at the front. I don't know if you can tell how much brighter the patch I did there on the driver's side is, but it's a lot. Yes. Well, it's better. In case you've ever wondered why charger window corners rust, all the crap that gets jammed under the trim and holds water could have something to do with it. Oh yeah, the chunks. Mud. So much mud. Ugh. I reckon that's the best it's looked since the day I bought it. But I like a lot. So I'm pleased with that. I guess I should wash that one now. And everything was right in the world, except it still leaks oil and the interior is disgusting and there's chips all over it and it needs tires and a front end rebuild and... Why so loud? Oh, in case you were wondering, it does still hot start like crap. If you've got a big block and an Edelbrock, you know what I'm talking about. this thing. So does everyone else. Something about snapping necks. Well, let that be a lesson to you. Don't do whatever I did, I guess. Note to self. Just leave the coolant low. It's fine. Oh yeah, in case you were wondering, my genius theory was that I punched a push rod through a rocker arm. Obviously I was wrong. There you go. The charger we call Corn Dog for some reason is fixed. It's restored. It'll definitely never have any random unexplainable problems again. And it's clean and shiny and beautiful for 5 minutes and it's right back where it was. All right, I totally am gonna drive it some more though. Anyway, until next time, as ever, thanks for watching. And remember, what doesn't kill you will keep trying.